going to go straight to Suzanne, and she's got a question about retirement. She's in California.
We're retiring soon, so our retirement horizon is quite limited, with the real and likely possibility that we will not know who our president will be until who knows when. We are thinking that the market might take a nosedive. A few days ago, we took some profits, but we left a small amount in the market. So we're wondering if you think the market is going to tank come November 4th. We want to be cautious, but we want to stay in the market. What are you recommending? Thanks, Charles.
You know, obviously you had profits, which means you've held through some volatility. I think the market could be vulnerable if a winner's not determined on election night. Beyond that, though, talk of a big sell-off by Wall Street types. The rumor is that maybe a President Biden would take these tax hikes that could come into play in 2022, make them retroactive to 2021. That would hurt the stock market. But I got to tell you, at some point, in a $20 trillion economy, there are going to be opportunities. So I'm worried about higher taxes, higher regulations, and all of those things. But I think you've been wise and smart enough throughout your life, and you guys are going to retire, that you know to pick the winners and losers. So, Eddie, without sounding too cliche-ish, it would be more of a stock picker's market for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. One thing we try to advise our clients is don't try to be too cute and time exactly when to get in and when to get out. The best advice I would give them is if they've got an allocation strategy they're comfortable with, is dollar cost average in over this volatility, because this market will form a bottom. And Charles, you know this better than anyone. All we need is a little bit of good news next week, and this market can snap back by 10%. So just trickle it in on these down weeks. It's always tough to buy when it's down, but right. I think it's proven long-term to be best.
Well, I love that they took profits while it was up. And to your point, buy low, sell high. I've heard that somewhere before. The next question from John, pretty straightforward, and it's one I hear a lot.
Hey, this is John Williams. I have a question for Charles Payne regarding my financial situation. I'm in my 80s and heavily invested in the TD Ameritrade ETF funds. The question is, God forbid that Biden were to get elected, what should I do, or how should I handle my financial situation?
All right, Eddie, I hit this a lot on the show, so I'll let you take the answer.
All right, look, I don't think anyone should make knee-jerk reactions and do a complete facelift based on what they think the election is going to do or who's going to win, who's going to lose. I'm a firm believer that no matter who wins any elections moving forward, there's always opportunities. There's winners and losers based on taxes and regulation. Our job is to try to find those winners and invest in those sectors, and that's why you listen to Charles's show, so that way he can give you good money-making opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, the ETF strategy might be too broad to that point, and you might want to look at more individual names and even maybe some protection at 80 years old. One quick one, inflation question from Jerry. He's in Florida. Let's take a listen.
Hi, my name is Jerry Marks. I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida. And here's my question. It's been less than 50 years since President Nixon took us completely off the gold standard in 1971. And we had massive inflation in the 70s. But since that time, for the last 40 years, every Fed chairperson has been laser focused on keeping inflation down and being critical of Congress for excessive spending. Until now, Fed Chair Powell has said he wants more inflation and has been critical of Congress for not voting for more fiscal stimulus. So my question is, what happens to the United States if it loses its world reserve currency status by the end of this decade? Thank you. I look forward to your answer.
You know, I hear this a lot. We've been hearing it a lot. Well, what's happened to the dollar in the last 3 days? As the market's been getting waxed, the dollar has erupted to the upside. The dollar's not going to lose its status, but to your point, at some point, we will have to deal with inflation, and it's probably going to come out around the corner very quickly. We won't be prepared for it. Eddie, we got 30 seconds, but I'll give you the final word on that.
Look, I think you always have to be prepared for inflation. But again, I pause you on us losing the gold, losing that standard currency. I think that we're fine, and I would just allocate against things that have a higher probability of happening. So I don't think that scenario is going to play out. So don't base your entire portfolio on something that's got a low probability of happening.
I actually think the dollar's too strong, particularly with these multinationals. I'd like to see it come down a little bit more. Eddie, thanks a lot. Always appreciate your help.